All right, listeners, we're back and ready to plunge headfirst into another deep dive with Shakespeare.
Always exciting.
You know it. And this time,
This time it's Macbeth.
yes,
Yeah.
Macbeth, Act 4, Scene 2.
We are really getting into the thick of it now.
Oh, absolutely.
Things are about to get...
We're past the point of no return.
Yeah.
So to quickly set the scene for anyone just joining us,
Yes.
we're at Macduff's castle.
Macduff's castle.
So here's the catch. Macduff, he's not there,
No, he is not.
which already should be sending a shiver down your spine.
Major foreshadowing.
Right, like in Shakespeare's world, the castle was supposed to be this ultimate safe space.
You know, your sanctuary, your haven.
Precisely. So the fact that he's not home,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Oh, it was right.
Troubles a brewing.
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, just a fun little aside, did you know that back in Shakespeare's day, they had this law called sanctuary? Basically, if you committed a crime, you could run into a church and they couldn't arrest you.
No way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep. So you can see how the idea of a safe place, a sanctuary, was woven into their culture.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah, it adds another layer to that whole castle a sanctuary thing, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so sanctuary's out the window in this scene, and we've got Scotland in utter turmoil.
Complete chaos.
All thanks to our friend Macbeth's power grab.
Right. Everyone is walking on eggshells,
Yeah, everyone's looking over their shoulder, suspecting each other.
afraid to breathe the wrong way.
Exactly. And in the midst of all this paranoia and fear, we have Lady Macduff.
Yes, Lady Macduff, she's not having a good day.
Not at all. Understandable, though, right? I mean, her husband has just up and fled Scotland,
Without a word.
and she's furious about it.
She is. I mean, who wouldn't be?
She's got this line.
Oh,
Yeah, it always gives me chills. She says, "He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors."
wow. Powerful stuff.
Right.
Because she's saying it's the fear itself that can make you look guilty, even if you're innocent. Exactly. And that really gets to the heart of what's going on in Scotland at this point.
It's like she's questioning everything she thought she knew about her husband.
You know, appearance versus reality is a huge theme in Macbeth.
Right. Things are not what they seem.
Exactly. And it gets even more interesting when she compares Macduff to a wren fighting an owl.
Oh, yeah, that's a striking image.
It is. And it's not just about her anger.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper, it's tapping into this larger theme of disruption.
Disruption. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Well, think about the natural order of things, right? You've got the owl, the predator, and the wren, the prey.
Yeah, natural hierarchy.
Right. There's a balance there.
But Macbeth throws that all out of whack.
He does. He's like the owl, preying on the weak, disrupting the balance.
So Lady Macduff's anger, it's more than just personal, it's reflecting this larger cosmic imbalance.
Exactly. And this whole idea of disruption is further emphasized by Ross's arrival.
Oh, Ross, he's in a tough spot.
Talk about stuck between a rock and a hard place.
He knows more than he can say.
Way more.
He's trying to reassure Lady Macduff, but you can tell he's terrified.
Oh, yeah. Remember that line? He is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's walking on eggshells, trying not to betray Macduff, but also trying to survive.
I mean, even saying something nice about Macduff could be interpreted as treason.
Right. It's a perfect illustration of how tyranny silences people.
Makes you wonder, how can anyone stay loyal in a world where telling the truth is dangerous?
That's the question, isn't it?
And then Shakespeare throws in this image of wild and violent sea.
Oh, yeah.
It's like more than just weather.
Oh, way more. It's a metaphor for the state of Scotland and for Lady Macduff's emotional state.
Ooh, okay, break that down for me.
So, back in Shakespeare's time, people believed in this idea called the Great Chain of Being.
The great chain of being.
Yeah, basically everything had its place in the universe.
It's like a hierarchy.
Exactly. God at the top, then angels, then humans, then animals, all the way down.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
And the idea was that if one link in the chain was broken, everything was disrupted.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
The wild and violent sea is a reflection of that disruption.
So Macbeth's actions, they've messed up the natural order,
Politically, A&D, personally,
and Lady Macduff is right in the middle of that storm.
right in the eye of the hurricane.
Wow, that is a deep dive.
Just getting started. But you know, what's really interesting is how Shakespeare shifts gears here.
Shifts gears.
Yeah, I mean, we've got all this tension, this fear hanging in the air.
Or like a ticking time bomb.
Exactly. And then he throws in this incredibly tender scene between Lady Macduff and her son.
Oh, you're talking about that conversation they have.
Yeah, like right in the middle of all this impending doom, we get this philosophical debate about Life and death and traitors and honesty.
It is a bit of a tonal shift.
It is, but it's not just a random interlude.
No, there's always a purpose with Shakespeare.
Always, he's using this dialogue to foreshadow the tragedy that's coming.
Okay, I see that, especially when Lady Macduff tells her son his father is dead.
Oof, yeah, and his response,
Breaks your heart.
he asks, what, with worms and flies?
So innocent.
Right, but it also points to this stark reality of death.
Yeah, which is about to become very real for them.
And then there's that back and forth they have about traitors.
Oh, right, where he talks about liars and swearers.
He says they're fools because there are so many of them they could beat the honest men and hang up them.
It's like he's commenting on the state of Scotland under Macbeth.
Exactly. This innocent child is pointing out the hypocrisy of a world where the powerful lie and cheat while good people suffer.
It's pretty profound when you think about it.
It is. Shakespeare is highlighting the moral decay that comes with tyranny.
Not just physical violence, but the erosion of trust and honesty.
Exactly. And just as we're absorbing all of this, in comes the messenger,
Oh, yeah, talk about an entrance. He bursts in with this cryptic warning.
urging Lady Macduff to flee.
Remember that line, "Bless you, fair dame, I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly."
Chilling stuff, right? We know what's coming, but she doesn't.
And the big question is, why doesn't she run?
Why does she stay?
She's been warned.
It's a tough one. There's no easy answer.
Is she naive?
Maybe she does say, I have done no harm.
Yeah, like she believes she has nothing to fear.
Or maybe she thinks fleeing would dishonor her husband.
Reputation was everything back then.
Exactly. So staying could be her way of protecting her family's honor.
Even if it puts them in danger. That's a tragic irony.
It is. And again, we see that theme of appearance versus reality,
She's trying to maintain this facade of normalcy.
while everything around her is falling apart.
And we know that facade is about to be shattered.
In the most brutal way imaginable.
Which brings us to the murder scene.
This scene is tough.
So hard to watch.
It's so sudden, so violent.
Shakespeare doesn't shy away from the brutality.
Not at all. It's a visceral reminder of the consequences of unchecked ambition.
It's a reminder that violence doesn't discriminate. It can strike anyone.
And it's not just the physical violence.
It's the emotional violence, too.
The betrayal, the senselessness of it all.
That's just heartbreaking.
And yet, amidst all of this, Shakespeare highlights the son's bravery.
Oh, yeah, even as he's facing death.
His final words, "He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you."
Man, that line gets me every time.
He's thinking of his mother, trying to protect her.
Even in his last moments.
It's a powerful testament to love and loyalty, even in the face of evil.
And it really underscores that theme of innocence lost.
This scene is a turning point. Macbeth crosses a line here.
He becomes a monster.
It's like watching him lose his soul.
It really is. And it's amazing how this one scene, this quiet moment at Macduff's castle, it becomes this microcosm of the entire play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. Shakespeare takes this domestic base, a place that should represent family, safety, and uses it to show the devastating ripple effects of Macbeth's actions.
It's like he's saying no one is safe
No way.
when ambition and power run wild.
Exactly. And Lady Macduff and her son, they become these innocent victims.
Caught in the crossfire.
It highlights how indiscriminate tyranny can be.
It doesn't just target the people directly involved in the fight.
It spreads, it touches everyone.
And it really makes you think about fate versus free will, you know?
Oh, yeah, big questions.
Were Lady Macduff and her son just pawns in a game they couldn't control?
Or did their choices, especially Lady Macduff's decision to stay, seal their fate?
It's the ultimate question, isn't it?
It is, and I don't think Shakespeare gives us an easy answer.
No, he leaves it open to interpretation.
On the one hand, you could say Lady Macduff had agency. She could have run.
But she chose to stay.
Maybe she didn't grasp the danger.
Or maybe she felt that running would somehow shame her husband.
Honor was a big deal back then.
But on the other hand, you can't help but see them as victims.
Victims of circumstance, trapped in a web of fear woven by Macbeth.
It's what makes this scene so powerful.
It really forces us to confront these complex ideas.
About responsibility, choice, and the limits of our control when faced with such powerful forces.
And then there's the theme of fear, right?
Oh yeah, fear, it's everywhere in this play.
It's the engine that drives the whole story.
It's just what pushes Macbeth to seize power in the first place.
And then it drives him to commit even more atrocities as he becomes more paranoid.
And that fear, it's contagious.
Like a disease.
It spreads throughout Scotland, poisoning everything.
Creating suspicion and mistrust.
Remember that line from Ross? We are traitors and do not know ourselves.
Oh, yeah, that's a chilling line.
It shows how fear can distort our perception, make us doubt our own loyalty.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy,
The more afraid we are, the more likely we are to do things that justify that fear.
even if it means betraying our own values.
And that's one of the most unsettling aspects of this play, isn't it?
It is.
It shows us how fear can turn ordinary people into, well, accomplices.
Even if they never intended to do harm.
So after this deep dive, what really sticks with me
Yeah.
is that even in the face of all this darkness, there are still glimmers of hope.
There are.
We see it in the son's bravery, in Lady Macduff's defiance, even in the messenger trying to warn them.
Those little acts of courage, of compassion, they remind us that even in the darkest times, human goodness can still shine through.
And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from this scene,
What's that?
that even when surrounded by darkness, we have the power to choose.
To choose what?
To choose integrity, to resist, to fight for a better world.
It's a message that still resonates today.
Absolutely. Well, that's our deep dive into Macbeth, Act 4, Scene 2.
Ooh, heavy stuff.
It is, but so powerful, and we hope you found it insightful, listeners.
Definitely.
We've explored ambition, fear, the consequences of violence.
And how this one scene really reflects the complexities of the whole play.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those conversations going.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.